I got some other stuff to show you guys. All right, here we go. Go back to Genesis 1. We're still in Genesis 1. Okay. I'm going to put a video right here on the first part, Bereshit. Okay, so I'm going to put a video in it. He's going to explain, like, Jesus. I believe Jesus made everything and created Satan to play this game we're going in through experience. So, like I said, beta's the first letter, B. He'll explain all that, but his name and everything, it's hidden inside there. So, even though it's hidden inside the Hebrew, we read this when you go to King James stuff. In the beginning created God the heavens and the earth. Real simple, first layer. But Jesus hidden it, everything inside just the first letter, the first word in the Hebrew, Bereshit. It's crazy. All right, I'll put that video there.
It's just so cool how Hebrew works. But I know you probably don't know one bit of Hebrew, except for what little maybe we've talked about. Don't worry. It all comes together quickly. Here's their alphabet. Their Aleph is the first letter. Their Beit, Aleph, Beit, alphabet. That's where we get it from. And the Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Yud, Kaf, Lamed, Mem, Nun, Samek, Ayin, Pei, Tzadi, Kuf, Resh, Shin, Ta. 22 letters. Hebrew reads from right to left. That's difficult to get your head wrapped around. I don't want to say it reads backwards because this is God's first language. This is God's language. It reads forward. We write backwards. Everything we do, Satan has twisted things around that now we're doing it backwards. God tells us to use the moon to tell time. And what do? Satan switches it around and we're all telling time by the sun. And now our calendars are so off from God's Hebrew calendar that all the special feasts and appointed times, they mean nothing to us. We miss all of this. So we've got to get back to doing it the way God originally wanted us to do it. And He originally put it in Hebrew, so let's learn it in Hebrew. Anyway, so there's your Aleph Beit, your alphabet. And here is Genesis 1:1. I figured we should going to start reading the Bible. These people say, "Oh, well, I've read the Bible and it doesn't make sense." Yeah, well, let's see if you miss this. I'm going to read it through once. Remember, they read from right to left. It's Bereshit, Bara, Elohim, Et, Hashemayim, Va'et, Haaretz. Bereshit is in beginning. Bara means created or fattened. Elohim, God, El. Anytime you hear El, God, you'll hear it in people's names like Daniel, my judge is God, or Nathaniel, a gift of God. Or sometimes it begins with El, Eliezer, God is my helper. El is God, Elohim. Et, this is an untranslatable word. We'll deal with it another time. We'll talk. That's another whole video. Hashemayim, the heavens. Va'et, this is another et, just like this one. It's and, whatever et is. And haaretz, the earth. But Bereshit, let's just look at this one. And let me show you something really cool about Hebrew and how it works. Here's your first Hebrew word. Aleph Beit. Notice, it's the first two letters of their alphabet. The Aleph Beit. Okay? Every Hebrew letter has a picture associated with it. So an Aleph, its picture is the head of an ox. You can see the snout, you can see ears, you can see horns. It's the head of an ox, and it represents strength and power. A Beit, its picture is a tent. And the letter Beit is also the word Beit, and it means house. Tent, house. By the way, our letter A comes from Aleph. And our letter B comes from Beit. God is always first, always, on everything. So, if Aleph is strength and Beit is house, tent. You have Aleph Beit, the strength of the tent. The strength of the tent is the Father, the Abba. Abba. You can pronounce it phonetically, and you can figure out its meaning. That's unbelievable. That every word in Hebrew does this. So what you need to learn is you learn your 22 letters, and then learn their pictures and what is associated with them, and you're figuring out Hebrew words. Here's one more. Beit. Well, we already know Beit. It's a house. It's a tent. By the way, you've heard the word Beit before. Even if you spoke no Hebrew, you know Beit. This is in Beit Lechem. Lechem is bread. Beit is house. Beit Lechem is house of bread. Jesus says, I am the bread of life. And he's born in Beit Lechem, the house of bread. How funny. And here we have Resh. A Resh, its picture is a head. If you turn a Resh around and read it this way, it would be our letter R. So now here you have Beit Resh. You sound it out, bar. And what is it? It's the head of the tent. Well, who's the head of the tent? Well, in God's thinking, it's the Son. And isn't that how it worked? Didn't God give authority to the Son? He gave all authority to Jesus. That's unbelievably cool. So, the head of the tent is the Son. The strength of the tent is the Abba. Bar, by the way, you've heard the word bar mitzvah. When you are bar mitzvah, you are son of the law, mitzvah. You have to follow all of those 613 laws that God gave Moses on Mount Sinai. So, now that you know how Hebrew works, let's look at this first word of Genesis 1:1, Bereshit. I've written it big here, but it's the same here. It means in beginning. Okay? Well, each one of these has a picture associated with it. By the way, notice that each of these also have a number associated with it. God deals on levels, and levels, and they all intertwine and connect, and there's sub-themes and themes, and they all interconnect, and everything points to Jesus. Don't believe me? Watch. Bereshit, the first word. Remember, we're reading from right to left. You can sound it out. Beit, ba, resh, r, aleph. They actually say it's a silent letter, and you don't... It sort of gives the A sound. I don't know why they call it a silent letter. It does. It is interesting that Aleph is the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, yet God does not begin the alphabet or begin the Bible with an Aleph. He begins it with a Beit in Bereshit. Interesting. So, and even the shape of Bereshit, notice it's closed to heaven above, it's closed to earth below, and it's closed to infinity past, but it's open to the future in the direction that God reads. Pretty cool, huh? Anyway, so this is Bereshit, and R is Ra, Resh, Aleph, Ah. The Sheen, it's a Sh sound. Yud, Ya, and the Ta is the T sound. So you sound it out. Bereshit. And if we look at their ancient pictures, remember, you learn 22 letters, you learn 22 pictures, and you can figure it out. A Beit, we already said, was a tent. And a Resh, this was the head. Uh-oh. Oh, not bad. And Beit Resh, we already know this much. That's a word we've already learned. It's bar. Bar is son. Oh my goodness. He starts the Bible. Bar. I told you, everything points to Jesus. He's the first two letters are pointing to the Son. Then you have Aleph. What's Aleph? Aleph, we're going to put it in blue because blue would be the color of God. Because this is God's letter. It's the one he's out in front. He doesn't take all of everything. He gives all authority and everything to the Son. He starts the Bible with the Son. So this is God. He's the head of, it's the strength. God's letter, Aleph. So what do we have in the first three letters of Bereshit? The first word of the Bible, Bereshit, which means in beginning. It's not in the beginning, by the way. There's no the in here. When we learn more of Hebrew, you'll see it's not there. It's just in beginning. And believe me, I know so little Hebrew, but I'm learning, and whatever I figure out, I'm going to pass on to you. Okay, so the first three letters, it's Bar, Son of God. Oh my goodness, that's pretty cool. We come to the Sheen. It has an ancient picture also associated with it. Its picture is, I'm doing it in black, teeth. It looks like a W. In fact, Sheen, it's the Hebrew letter that looks like a W. But it's actually teeth. You see devouring teeth? And anytime you see a Sheen, it represents destruction and devouring. Okay? Teeth, destroying. Interesting. Okay? In fact, look at this. If you just take these two letters right here, Aleph, Sheen, that is a word in Hebrew on its own. That word is Aleph, strength, strong, powerful. Sheen, destruction, teeth, ultimate destruction. It's Aish, fire. In fact, Aish, whenever Moses was up on Mount Sinai, and who does he the burning bush? It's the Aish Sinai. The Aish is fire. Sinai is bush. The Aish Sinai, the fire in the bush. And it's just a cool picture of God. He's the fire. He's the judge. He can destroy. He's the fire. But the bush isn't consumed because he's also merciful. Unbelievably cool picture. But here he's got his Aish. He uses this name on Mount Sinai. But you can see how Hebrew works. You get these. You can figure out what the words are, and they sort of define what they are. A Yud. The Yud, its picture is a hand. And we'll do the hand here. They actually draw it sort of like this. It's an arm. Okay, you can see an arm coming down and coming out in the hand. And it represents work or a hand doing something. Yud. It's the smallest Hebrew letter. When Jesus, in the New Testament, he talked about not one jot or tittle will pass from the law before all are fulfilled. He didn't say jot. He said yod. He's saying not even the smallest letter in the Hebrew alphabet will pass from the law. So that's the yod. Very cool. It's the 10th, number 10. He begins his names with yod, which is very God. That's a God thing. His name Yahweh begins with a yod, or Yeshua begins with a yod. His city Jerusalem begins with the yud. He's almighty, unbelievable, almighty God, and he uses the smallest letter for his name because he can. And then we come to the Ta, and the Ta, its picture it's the letter T. Ta, hear it? So you T. Or it's a cross, which you put your mark, your Ta. That's what it is. So the word Bereshit, if you sound it out, you have Bar, the Son, Aleph of God, is destroyed by his own hand, willingly, on the cross. and the atheists say there's no God, and that man wrote the Bible. He does this with every word, people. Every word. Anyway, that's just really cool. And remember, this is the word in beginning, Bereshit. And what's really cool, if you go to the Isaiah, the prophet, the major prophet Isaiah 46:10, he says, I am God, there is no other, and declaring the end from, you ready? Are you waiting for it? Are you waiting? Are you waiting for it? He declares the end from the beginning. That's how you know that's how you know who a God is a God. If he can say it before it happens, he's God. And here he's spelling out the end, that the Son of God will be destroyed by his own willingly hand, by own willing, you know what I mean, on the cross, willingly, on the cross. Yes. That's declaring the end from the beginning, from the Bereshit.
Let's go. I want to show you something else. If you go right here, the third verse, Genesis, and God said, let there be light, and there was light, and God saw the light, and it was good. And you're like, so, okay, well, go to Hebrew, and let's go to the third verse. Okay, again, it says Elohim, and I've shown you that it's pointing to not Jesus, but looks like it's pointing to Satan, Elohim, the God of this world. And he said, let there be light, and there was light. And so what's he talking about right here? Watch. And he saw and saw God the light, that it was good. Uh-oh, who's that? He saw, so somebody was there. Not only was Satan, but somebody else was there. So you go back here. Oh, man. I should have put this in here. I forgot. Sorry. Let me look it up. I think that'll get me there. Okay, here we go. Look, just like John 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So if you read it, in the beginning was the Word, Jesus was there, and the Word was with God. What? Who's this? That's Jesus. How do you know? Because he says it. Look, watch. That's not it. Where's it at? Let's see. Where's it at? Where is it at? Oh, that's right. Oops. Sorry. It's this one. Yeah, again, John talks about it. Man, John's all over the place. Okay, John 1:14. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. That's Jesus. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son, who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. There's your word. Okay, so look. And then it goes right here. He says, man, where am I at? Okay. The Word was with God. Which God? Elohim. He was with them. And the Word was God. So now here it's going back. It's telling you the Word, Jesus, is God. He's watching them. He let them do it. Because remember I said everything points to Jesus created Satan. And Satan jumped into Lucifer. And where was he going to go? He couldn't just leave everything into eternity's God. Or Jesus. So he basically, Lucifer like fell down, I guess. And died, whatever. And then that's the Genesis picks up there where Satan's creating his own world in the mind of Lucifer. That's where we're at. And so that's where I believe everything I've been reading is pointing me there. So let's go back. And so you're saying, and saw God the light that it was good. That's Jesus. And so you go even further. There's the rich man story in Mark 10:17. Yeah, there you go, Mark 10. And this guy came running to him, kneeled down, and he goes, "Good master, what shall I do that I may inherit eternal life?" And Jesus said to him, "Why callest me good?" It's not like he didn't know what he was doing. He was making him think. There's none good but one, that is God. And you're like, no. What are you talking about? He's telling him, because you're right. I am good. I am God. There's nobody good except God. He is God. And, okay, so you can read that. It's crazy. Okay, look, and you go John 10:30. This one's a big one. I and the Father are one. That's Jesus. Let me see. Let me go back here. King James Version. 10:30. See, look, you can read the first verse before. My Father, which gave them me, is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. I and my Father are one. Uh-oh. What the? That means they're both the same. They're the same power. They're God. That's crazy. That's great. Let's see. All right, let me jump into another story. Cain. And so you're like, okay, so what's going on with Cain? Go to Cain. Let me see what I got here. Genesis 4:17. Cain made love to his wife, and she became pregnant, gave birth to Enoch. Cain was then building a city, and he named it after his son Enoch. And you're like, Cain, where did you find his wife? Remember, Adam and Eve got kicked out. And so, let's go. And supposedly it was only Cain and Abel. So you're like, what? What's going on? Some people think, will say that over time, the Adam and Eve had more kids, and they spread out. And so this is just another story. Could go, but I don't think so. I think it's, I'm more pointing to this. So he kills his brother, and then, let's see. Look, and then God marks him. And I'm like, what? Let's see. Okay, he's asking my brother's keeper, what has that done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. The voice of your brother's blood crieth. That's another little mystery in there. His blood crying out? What does that mean? I chased that one for a while, but let's keep going. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in thy earth. And King said to the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and shall be a fugitive vagabond on the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. Wait a minute. So I thought they were the only ones there. Who else is there? And then that's when the Lord... Okay, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain. See, lest anyone should find him and kill him. What's the mark? If I was looking at it, I think he gave him leprosy. You can still have kids and have a life, but I think he gave him leprosy. That's how back then they would notice him and go, oh man, he's marked. He has leprosy. Leave him alone. So I think Cain actually had leprosy. Cain went out the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod, east of Eden. But hold on, let me answer that other question. So Genesis 4, let's go back to the beginning. And if you go right here in 6, where am I at? Let me go to the chapter 1. Okay, if you go over here in the 6th day, talks about all that he's creating creatures on land. But if you go right here on 26, and God said, let us make man in our own image and likeness. Let them have dominion, And then he goes, look, right here, he made male and female, created he them. And so people are like, oh, okay, he made a male and a female. No. I think he's telling us he made each individual had both male and female parts. And you're like, what? How do you know? Okay, well, you go. This is crazy. You just got to keep looking. You go forward. You go right here in just chapter 2. Look. And it said, Lord God caused a deep sleep in Adam, and he slept. Died or whatever. He just passed out, whatever. Took one of the ribs, the flesh out. And what he took out, he made a woman. What did he take out? He took the womb, all the female body parts, and separated them. So that's why the even Bible says when he sees both of them, he sees one. Oh man, this is crazy. Okay, so you look at there. Go to 4, and let's go. Okay, where am I at? Okay, look, this is a crazy one. He dwelt in the land of Nod. Where's Nod? Here's what I found. If you go to Nod, you click on the word on the Hebrew, a region to which Cain wandered. Okay, so if you look, Nod, N-O-D, keep clicking, wandering aimlessly, fugitive, just like he said he was, Nod, wandering. Okay, so you got that one. Keep going, click on it to move to and fro, wander, flutter, show grief. And you're like, hey, isn't that what we saw earlier? So if you go to let's go down a little bit. Okay, you go down here, exhaustive concordance. And bemoan, flee, get worn, take pity, remove, shake, wander, and vagabond. Okay, so let's go a little bit back. If you go, remember, flutter, show grief? If you go back to the first part where I was showing you, just in Genesis right here. Go to Hebrew. It should be 2. Let me see. Hover right here. So if you go to hovering, and the Spirit of God was hovering. So you click on that, you go here. Flutter, move, and shake. What? Broad. And remember I was telling you that. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, let's go. Where are we at? I already lost my place. Sorry, hold on one second. Okay, so to move to and fro. And the one that does that is Satan. He goes to and fro. And you're like, what? And look, another side note. Man, God's been showing me 5:11 everywhere, and I found it. He's showing me. He goes to and fro, wandering, show grief. 5:11 also means in the police medevac. I don't know what that means. So 5:11, that's crazy. So let's keep going. So to wander, but look, if you look also to wander, it also means planet. So when he said he went to the land of Nod, it's anywhere on Earth. Because look, even right here, planet, Latin, wander, planet. Planet means wander. That's crazy. And look, he said he was a vagabond. Look what a vagabond is. Wander. A person who wanders from place to place without a home or job. Vagabond. That's us. Let's see. What else did I find? It's also the 5th brightest star in the sky and the brightest constellation in Lyra. That's that instrument that David was playing. Bright northern star. The eagle of the desert. There's that eagle thing. Man, eagle represents Zeus. Goes back to Satan. The fallen vulture. Let's see. Did I skip something? Okay. All right, let's keep going. Where am I at? Let's see. There's that Lyra. There's David right here. If you go right here, David took the harp, played by hand, so the soul was refreshed and was well, and the evil spirit departed from him. So, check that out. Let's see where we're at. Okay. Let's get over. Oh, so I got another theory too. It's okay. So my guess, if you, I'm just guessing, but when Cain left and went out into the world, wilderness, I think he went to Israel, because that's what they say. Let's see. Look, watch. He goes right here. They even call it like Canaan. There's a picture of it right there. Man, let's see. Say land of Canaan. Oh, like say there it is. So he was here in Canaan. That's Israel. That's what they're over there fighting for. Look, what else we got here? There's other pictures. Canaan. Alright. Land of Canaan. That one's not gonna load. Yeah, land of Canaan, see? The land of the promise. That's all Israel. That's crazy. And so that's where he went. That's where I believe he went when they were. Actually, I think Satan took him there, but whatever. Let's see. Man, all these are bad pictures. Let me see. Okay, so those are the 12 tribes. Notice the 12 tribes land in Israel. Okay, so let's go. What else we got? Let me see what else I got. Why am I ahead of myself? Okay, here we go. Nope, that's where I'm at. Okay, look, and then the other thing is, here's another one that's crazy. They tell you when Adam died. Look, Genesis 5:5. 5:5 is another crazy number. 5:5 means Satan. That's numeric value for the word Satan. Anyway, so Adam lived total of 930 years. You're like, what? Yeah, look, 930 years, and then he died. So look, watch what. Let me see if it has anything. Let's see. Oh, look at that. That's crazy. Hebrew means behemoth. That goes back to Satan. Water ox. Look at that. Hippopotamus. What else we got? A beast, animal, cattle. Beast. Man, that's crazy. 930. He died on 930 years. Okay, so I think there should be a Greek one. Oh, okay. Ooh, look at that. Greek. Torturer. Jailer. Look at that. Tormentor. This is all from 930. That's how long Adam lived. Torture. Waves. Plain. Toil. Torment. Isn't that what he was doing while I was here? Vex. Toss. Where's that wave? As of waves. Look at that. Man, there's more in there. Man, when you go down these rabbit holes, you can go forever. Okay, so let's see. Alright, where am I at now? Oh, you know what? I was looking at a date, like when the rapture could happen. So what I did was I went to the future, and then I came back. And I watched on the date. Look, I went here, date calculator. I went to 2030, because the New World Order keeps talking about 2030. They got to finish all this by 2030. And so I picked December 28, 2030. And then I subtracted 7 years. But then you're like, why did you pick that date? Well, go right here. Look, this is December 2030, Saturday, 28th. It's a festival. Hanukkah, the Jewish festival, rededication. Chanukah, 5791, the Hebrew calendar date. They said it's the known as Festival of Lights, is in the 8th day Jewish holiday commemorating the rededication of the Holy Temple, the second temple in Jerusalem at the time of the Maccabean revolt of the 2nd century BCE. So I don't know. This could be it. So that's 7 years away. So if you pick that date, go back 7 years, you land on, like I was saying, this December on the 28th. Maybe. Who knows? But look, subtracted 7 years right there. And then after the tribulation, boom, into the millennial reign, 1000. So, I don't know, that's my guess. Because look, what's interesting is 1228. If you go, 1228 means a flask, the Hebrew. And so you're like, a flask? Okay, what does that mean? Bottle, emptying. But look, you keep digging and keep going this rabbit hole. To be luxuriant, whatever that means. Let's see. Empty. Make empty, fail, utterly. Make void. And you know, void, what I got in here? Go look up what void means. Where's it at? Gonna maybe type it down again. Man, I know I have it. All right, again. Okay, so void. Look at that definition. Not valid, legally binding, completely empty, empty space. I don't know. You could just. That's a funny number for a flask. You know, like we're a vessel. Okay, and then, so you do Hebrew. Let's do the Greek. Look what the Greek means. This is still 1228, December 28. And so, look, the devil. Slanderers, accusing falsely. Okay, and then you go to exhaustive, falser, accuser, devil, slander. Okay, let's go a little deeper. To bring charges. Yep, that's what he does. Okay. Accuse, day. What is this? To throw, cast. Man, that's all he does. But it's interesting. It's that number that it lands on. Okay, so let's see what else we got. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so I see I put that date in. 28th December 2030. That's going to be 3 Tevet 5791. And look, I put 5791. Look what it means. It means to be bent or crooked. What? Bow self. It's almost like make crooked. It's falsify, overthrow, deal perversely, submit, turn upside down. You're like, what? I think we're upside down. And you're like, what? Well, look, if you go to, look how we look. Our eyes, let me see, our eyes inside the brain look upside, we see things upside down. Look like this picture, see? Candles upside down in our head. So this is what I'm saying. Inside our head, we're upside down. We're inside Lucifer's mind. And so, yeah, that's crazy. So, 5791, turn upside down. I don't know if we're going back upside down. It looks like we're flipping back, but I don't know. That's crazy that I found it there. Let's see. Where am I at? All right, let's keep going. Okay. Man, I think that's all my notes. Anyway, so let's look. Let me go back to the basic. Okay, let's go. Okay, so my other theory, like I said, so when Cain got kicked out, he went to the land of Canaan, which is Israel right now, present day. Okay, so but look, Abraham. This is weird. If you go look at Abraham, look where he was born. He was born in Ur of the Chaldees. Okay. But look, he died in Hebron. Hebron is where David went for like 7.5 years. And Hebron is the place that Caleb got. Because he went to, what do you call it? When they went to go look at the promised land, it was only him and Joshua. And they said, hey, we can take over the guys that are there. But see, my other thing, while I'm talking about that, why would God send them there to fight people? Isn't there another place where he could have taken those pretty? There's nobody there. No, now we gotta go kill. So I'm like, we gotta go kill somebody to stay in there. So you're actually killing your own brothers, because Cain is a brother of Abraham. They're all related to Adam and Eve. But anyway, so look, Ur of Chaldees. Look where Ur of Chaldees is at. Let's see. Let me get a map. So this is where Abraham came from. Images, let's see. Where's the map? Okay, so look, he lived over here. Looked like Iraq, if I'm right. He was in Iraq, and then God made a flood. Some kind of flood made him get out of there, and he told him to go over here to Canaan. And so that's where he died, in Hebron. But look, watch. Here's the it's called a dearth that was there. Let's see. But I took your father Abraham from the land beyond the Euphrates and led him throughout Canaan and gave him many descendants. I gave him Isaac. And so who's actually talking? Like, why would you want to go there and fight? There's plenty of space to go somewhere else. But anyway, it's all part of the game. So here, let me put dearth. Okay. Is this it? No, that's the flood. Let me see. There's like a famine going on over there where he was at. Yeah, see? Here he goes. Now there was a famine in the land, and Abraham went down to Egypt to live there for a while because the famine was severe. So he took off. But he went to Canaan. And that area, Egypt, Canaan, whatever. And so that's why I'm saying, like, they're fighting over land. They're saying, it's my land, your land. He goes, you guys are all brothers. You guys are all related. You're fighting. And Satan's, man, is a master. He's making them fight each other. And they're all related. They're like, they could all live together. But again, it goes back to this guy. Watch. Everybody's heard this word go around. Hamas. Violence. Wrong. Okay. And look, it even tells you on 6:11, Genesis chapter 6:11. And was corrupt the earth before God, and was filled with earth with violence. That's why he flooded them. Okay, so there's no flood coming this time. It's fire. And what's fire today? Nukes, missiles, tanks, whatever. Okay. So, where are you at? Okay. Oh, yeah, like I said, there's nowhere in the Bible where they tell you where Eve's dead. And you're like, what? Yeah, there's nowhere in the Bible I found that tells you when Eve died. If you go look at the genealogy, like watch, go Adam, Eve, let's say, let's look at a chart. Okay, I think this one I saw. Okay, Adam, Eve. Okay. Look, it even says it here, 930 years. Yeah, where's Eve? She doesn't have a date. And remember, there was a flood. So, what happened? And look, Cain, he had a little bit of lineage going on before the flood took him out. So that stopped him there. And then here, where else we go? There's Noah. See, Noah, other sons and daughters. So here we go. So these are guys that made it. These guys, Methuselah, all these guys died. Anybody up here died. They all got killed on the flood. But yeah, I think, what's this? This is great. This, I don't know. This is my guess. Watch. Okay, the wickedness of man. Noah's favor with God. Noah builds the ark. Okay, all right. Everything's so good. Okay, chapter 7. He enters the ark. Flood waters come. Okay. And the Lord said, let's see. Okay, and Noah went in, and his son's wife and his son's wives with him into the ark. It never says who the wife of Noah is. And guess who I think it is? I don't know, I'm just guessing. It's Eve. Eve is with Noah. I don't know, it's just my guess. And look, there's, watch this. Okay, before I get to that one, let me see. Bible. Yeah, look, this one, 6:9, and this account, this is the account of Noah and his family. Noah was righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked faithfully with God. Okay, so, says he's a pretty good guy. All right, well, what about this? When he drank some of its wine, he became drunk and laid uncovered inside his tent. Looks like they had tents in there. Okay, so, man of the soil. He planted a vineyard and got drunk. I thought he was a righteous man. Look at this. The spirits got him. Okay, so, anyway. And look, Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his father naked and told his brothers outside. And I'm like, what? There's two brothers outside. But Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it across his shoulders, and then walked backwards, covered his father's naked body. Their faces were turned away so that they would not see their father's naked. Okay. When Noah awoke from his wine and found out that his youngest son had done to him, he said, "Cursed be Canaan, the lowest of slaves will be to his brothers." Okay, so what happened? I don't know, but it's all twisted mysteries, but it never says who Noah's wife is. I don't know. Because it says, look at this. If you go here, Genesis 6:4, Nephilim were on the earth. Look what it is. Nephilim were on the earth in those days and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men renowned, and afterwards. They're talking about the flood. So how did they survive the flood? Could be I don't know. Could be Eve. Some say it was Cain's descendants that Noah married, but I don't know. But that wife, I know. What if he wouldn't say Eve? Because it'll be like, it'll mess up the story. I don't know. Because Eve, how's she still alive? I don't know. All right. That's good enough for today. All right. Peace.